Welcome back, guys. What's going on, man? Another episode of the Sim Standard Podcast, radio, hangout, whatever you want to call it. We're happy to be back. Little late. We acknowledge that. Me and Smitty was just doing some extra talk and getting things together, but you guys understand that. But yeah, man, we're happy to be here for another show. We hope you guys come out and not only support, we hope you guys support the movement, meaning we want you guys to be a part of it. Speaking of that, we'll have Dez on tonight as an extra panelist. We appreciate that. So Dez will definitely be on with us. We'll shoot him an invite here in a moment. Smitty and I'll go through our quick introductions, and y'all know how we do. And then after that, we'll bring him on, and whoever else wants to come on. I know shout outs to Madden Universe. He's in here already. He hit me up as well. Here's a topic that we didn't necessarily have on the docket tonight, but I'll be happy to discuss it. You guys know there's been a lot of back and forth with the tourney crowd, sim crowd. I don't even want to call them tourney crowd. Let's just say competitive crowd and the sim crowd. Guys have been at their necks. Even NYK has said, and I agree with this, some sim guys going at each other is just crazy. And he definitely wanted to discuss that topic and maybe have him or someone else on from that side of things, so you can kind of see how most of us are really on the same page. I definitely want to speak on that, whether it's tonight or another night, because I've said that numerous times. So we'll be happy to have him if he's available tonight to be a part of the show. But if not, if someone else is out there listening that is a part of the competitive world and you're able to have actual dialogue, not arguing, and we will agree to that on our side as well. Actual dialogue, come on and let's do it. But outside of that, guys, if we don't get to that tonight, the main topics will be MLB and the server issues. Definitely got to go a little deeper into that as far as, recognizing that it is a problem, but then also acknowledging that it's funny how that game is able to stay afloat without the servers working correctly. And I will definitely explain my reasoning why. Smitty will do the same, and Dez as well. We also want to talk about the NFL draft / pro days. I know we were supposed to talk about this, guys, before, and we never really got to it. But we want to kind of talk about, number one, my question that I had, Smitty, and Dez, I know you're listening. I want to know how important pro days are to the NFL. Is it important? Is it needed? And why? Flipping off of that, Dez's topic, he wanted to discuss how CFM should relate to what we see with the approaching the draft, pro days, et cetera, et cetera. So basically like more off-season, things, how could Madden relate to some of that stuff and correlate it into the game, which y'all know it always comes back down to gameplay. We also want to talk about Madden's online service. It doesn't get enough credit that we think, so we'll discuss that and see what you guys have to say as far as their stability. And then we also want to talk a little bit about the NBA Live 18 leaks that are out there. We'll let Smitty jump this topic off because I know this is something that he wanted to address. I have my thoughts on it as well, and I'll be happy to hear what Dez's thoughts are on that. But I think you guys will appreciate the perspective we're going to take on that, because I already know I have a pretty good mind of knowing where I think Smitty is going to go with it, the chemistry that we have, and I got an interesting take on it as well. Just to let you guys know the format, and this is for you, Smitty, as well as AZ and Dez tonight. I think what I'm going to start doing more, because I noticed that you and I, all of us, me, you, and Azure, we seem to always be like right along the same page. So we always laugh when we say, man, so-and-so kind of stole thunder, or he already kind of hit on my point. So I think what I'm going to start doing, man, is with some of the topics, I'll throw it to you first, or if Azure's on, I'll throw it to him and do it like that. So then it's not always like myself or not always you or Azure or whoever who's going first every time, because I think that's always going to happen with us. We generally think alike. So I think I'll start doing it, and I'll be mindful of that, throwing it to you guys, and then maybe I'll take a lead on one, and et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's a better way to make sure we are all kind of hitting the point first and getting our thought out, and then everybody else can, communicate their feelings as well. So, Smitty, without further ado, you know how we started off, man. How was your week? Any news? Anything you want to say in regards to? I know our football teams aren't playing, but basketball, playoffs, whatever. But anything you got outside of those topics?
No, nothing really. Just that. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot all about it. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot. Man, I had completely. Oh, I guess they haven't. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I had forgot.
Smitty collected some information, y'all. Oh, Smitty's actually frozen, guys. So,
Nothing really
oh,
much.
there he is. There he is. It was frozen for a minute. Smitty, you hear me? I think he's frozen. Let me check with you guys and see what you guys are saying. Y'all hear Smitty? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, it's breaking up. Was I breaking up?
Yeah, we couldn't even hear you at
Couldn't you
all.
hear me? Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. No, basically, what I was saying was that the Pistons ended the season on a losing record. Well, losing tip. Anyway, they were already ruled out, but they lost to Orlando the other night. Lions are supposed to be unveiling some new uniforms tonight, so that's the big thing right now. Tigers starting out pretty good out the gate. They need to work on their pitching, but they got some young arms in there. They got some guys that are gonna need to work through they're gonna have to work through some adversity. I'm not as well versed with my team yet, but the more I play MLB The Show, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll definitely have a much better handle on them in due time. So, and that's the funny thing, Sim. Typically I don't listen to baseball games and stuff like that, but now I'm listening. You know what I mean? I'm listening to the games and stuff like that. I'm paying attention. I'm trying to, pay attention to names and stuff like that. Guys, as the year, it's only a few games in, but as it progresses, I'm paying attention to what these cats are doing. So then I know who's doing what on our team and everything. So it's just funny. Whereas in years past, I would give two cares less.
Exactly.
But no, other than that, we'll touch on our topics when we get to them. So now I'm just excited, man. EA Play, Play, boy, EA
Yeah.
Play. So Sim will be in the building. I'll definitely be in the building for that. What was I gonna say? Even though it got leaked, Star Wars Battlefront 2. That even that leak joint that's out there right now, I know they got something coming on Saturday. Because it's like Star Wars Day or Star Wars Weekend or some kind of convention or something like that. So they're gonna be showing a trailer for it there. But this looks like the Star Wars, at least from that one leak trailer, it looked like this is the Battlefront that everybody wanted in the first place. So where it basically it encompasses all of the whole Star Wars universe, Clone Wars, all those sagas and everything else all in one pack. So I just hope that it's not taxed with DLC to the brim. I hope there's a balance between what you get in the basic edition versus getting in the deluxe edition, and it's not, I gotta pay to get all the DLC to, you have a fair amount of downloadable content that everybody can get into and have fun with, and then get it, basically give everybody at least a base full experience. You know what I'm saying? But then if you want to get these add-ons, then pony up whatever amount of money, get that season pass or whatever it is they do, and have at it. So, but other than that, no, that's all I got. That's all I got. I'll throw it back to you, Sil.
Yeah, man, I don't have too much. You know, No football stuff to talk about. Only thing football related I could talk about in terms of some bad news, guys. The Steelers owner, passed away. Rest in peace to Dan Rooney. It's interesting, Smitty. I wanted to say this, man, on the show. I didn't know him personally, obviously, but it kind of teaches you something. It teaches you kind of like what you want to be remembered for, when your time is up. To hear people say what they say from other organizations, from other genres of sports, et cetera, saying how much the dude did for the city, laying blueprints, injecting the Rooney Rule for minorities, all of this different stuff. It just made me think like, man, that's how you want to conduct yourself. Your character is the one thing that you will always leave behind. That defines your legacy, et cetera, your character, who you were, how did you conduct yourself, how you treated people, and who you were, just genuinely who you were. And it's funny because I always relate that, Smitty, to, I always say YouTube has a funny way, and social media in general has a funny way of exposing people's character and showing you who they really are. You know what I mean? Because how they act in that format or that segment is probably how they act in real life. And it's pretty crazy. And it's kind of giving you guys a peek into the little bit that I'm going to address, the little bit of the side that I'm going to address when we get into the NBA live stuff. Like I said, I think people will enjoy their perspective. But yeah, rest in peace to him. What else we got going on? The Pirates. Somebody told me, now that you have adopted them, he was like, get ready for some heartbreak. I see that they're already 3-6. Haven't watched too many games, so I can't really, determine where the problem is yet, but I plan to do that. And like Smitty said, man, I owe it all to the show. The show is the reason why I'm feeling so, wanting to be involved in baseball now all of a sudden. Outside of that, guys, and, we'll wait for Dez to come in. Dez, if you're listening, I just shot you the invite, man, so you should be able to go ahead and pick that up. I'll send it again here right now just to make sure it comes to you. Outside of that, guys, man, for most of you who are in here, you may have seen the video I did today. And in case you didn't, man, I just want to remind you guys, man, especially us guys, the younger men, and some of you guys who are watching us are even older. Some of the guys who watch the show and follow me, and I appreciate it, are, plus 40. I appreciate that. Some of you guys who watch us are in your 30s, and some of you guys are mid-20s or even younger. But the message that I was putting out there today, man, is go to the doctor, man. Because I know when I was a younger guy, I didn't care about that. And I'm talking younger, like 21, 22. I'm healthy. That's how I felt. I didn't forget it. I don't need no doctor. I'm going to have to almost be dying to go. But now I'm at a point, man, with having a family, being a little older, being in your 30s, I go to the doctor regularly. So I just thought I would share that with everybody, man. Make sure you do that, because I'm telling you, it's so many little things, man, that I've known people to have later on, found out they got heart disease or they got, diabetes and things like that. True story. I know a guy who's 30 years old, 31, on a kidney list right now. He's waiting on a kidney. And the reason why is because his heart, he had high blood pressure for an extended amount of time in his mid-20s. That made his kidneys fail. He didn't go to the doctor. Had he gone to the doctor, they see that early. You get your blood work, they see that early, and you probably turn that around. See what I'm saying? So I just want to put that quick message out there. But anyway, guys, let's jump into it. We got Dez on, man. We're definitely happy to have Dez. Most of y'all know who Dez is if you've been following the show. If you're on Twitter, just another, avid community member, a follower of the show, faithful follower. And he's taking the advantage of saying, yeah, I'll come on to the show. He actually called me out on it. He said, man, you said last week nobody else ever wanted to come, but he said he's been wanting to come on. So we have him tonight. So let's get it started, man. First topic I'll throw at you guys. I'll throw it to you first, Smitty. Then we'll throw it to you, Dez, and then, back to me. And y'all know how the carousel goes, so to speak. Basically, let's talk about MLB The Show, man. Kick it off, Smitty. What's going on with them servers? And outside of that, how does it affect the game? How does it affect it in a negative or a positive way? Because, I tend to believe that the game is strong enough to carry on and give it a pass while it waits for the servers. But what's your take on it, man? What's going on? Why can't they get that together? And how does it affect your gaming experience?
Well, it doesn't affect my gaming experience at all personally, because I'm more of an offline guy anyways. Even though I am going to be, messing with Diamond Dynasty and all that, and Conquest and everything, I can play it against the CPU. My dude, shout out to him, Moonlit Swami, he basically said it on Twitter, you have 6-7 ways to play, even from an offline capacity. So, people got mad at it and he understood. But the thing is that even though people are mad, still, you need to, main thing to understand is that these dudes give all these ways to play because there may be online problems. That's just like when NBA 2K introduced My League. And remember, I was saying back then when we was on Blog Talk, I was saying then, yes, I know why they did My League. They gave all them offline options because their online probably going to be jacked up. And it was. But they gave you those options and all that offline immersion. Oh, wow. Well, that's a nice jersey. Okay. Interesting. I'm sorry, I'm watching this thing on Facebook Live, so what I would say is, yeah, so they gave you those mode options because of what was happening. You see what I'm saying? So you already have a lot of options with MLB The Show, but with all the promotion, the live stream build up and everything else leading up to the game release, only for it to, these cats better go 14-2 with these kind of unis and the way they're showing them right now. They better ball. Okay, but the way the show, the issues that the show has with the servers, this has been an ongoing thing, Sim. I honestly couldn't even possibly
that's what I
try
hear.
to answer that question because it's been going on forever. 2 or 3 years ago, myself, VF, 205, and others, we were all trying to play in an online league in MLB The Show. I think it was either 14 or 15. And we couldn't play. We could never get through a game because on the servers were that jacked up. So we were just like, man, forget it. We just we tried several times. We just said, skip it, man, because it's too messed up. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely messed up. On my way in the color. Okay. Oh wow, that's an interest. Okay, that's tight. But yeah, no. MLB has had the server issues going on for years on end, and see, just like what we talked about last week, when we play MLB The Show, we're not worried about flaws and issues and, oh man, this takes away from immersion. We can really focus in on all the stuff they did in the game because the core mechanics that they have in the game usually are pretty tight. That right there is that would be like the issues and stuff we see in Madden. When we play Madden and stuff, the NBA 2K kind of, Achilles heel, scratching your head, getting mad and yelling kind of stuff. That's what it would be in MLB The Show, at least for us. Now, maybe to the diehard baseball crowd, there may be some gameplay stuff in general that they may get mad at. But for us, though, we're like, come on, man. Look at this clipping going on. And how come this dude ain't even running the base? He's rubber banding and all kinds of, you know what I mean? So it's like a sport where you got timing involved and all that stuff. And you can't time stuff because the online is that choppy. That's a big problem. So I don't know what Sony's going to have to do, but they're going to have to like reinvest in their servers or redesign their servers going forward, you know, or something like that. Because I mean, this has been something that's been going on for like a good, what, as far as I know, at least 4 or 5 year problem with their online part. And you talked about Diamond Dynasty, Ramon saying how Diamond Dynasty was on tap. Well, if it's on tap, you can't play it online right now. That, like you said, a 3-year vision has been realized, and you can't see it come to full fruition.
Nope.
Because of this. You see what I'm saying? Even though now they did put out a letter today saying that, hey, we're working on these problems and everything, and they explained some of the backlogging when people would play their games, but it wouldn't show up on their record. And they're working through those kind of issues so that those games will count. And they said they were going to do something for the community, just give away some free stuff or whatever in game because of the issues that happened. So they didn't say what, but that's going to happen, which is cool. But at the same time, though, this is like the same stuff, different day kind of deal. And when you talk about taking away from immersion, that would be the only thing, at least to me, that MLB The Show loses as far as immersion is that whole online issue. It's not even a baseball issue. It's the technicality issues of server stability. So that's my take on it, man. I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, and real quick before I throw it to Dez, why not? In the comments, he knows who he is. He posted a good question. I'll let you answer it. And Dez, you come in right after Smitty. If there was no internet, there was no online gameplay, would people complain about offline gameplay? And I think he's talking specifically. Well, he might not be talking specifically MLB The Show, but in general, even since we're talking about the show, would there be a complaint if the online wasn't working? Would we hear people complaining about MLB The Show? And that's a great question. What you think, Smitty?
I don't think people would be complaining. You know what? The way it would be, I don't know how old Why Not is, but people would be complaining because they don't have it. Because when you're like, man, I'm tired driving over to so-and-so's house to play, because that was the thing that sucked for me. You know what I'm saying? And you had people that played these games, but didn't necessarily have a bunch of people to play it with, except for maybe once every good while. So when you don't have that and you don't have those group people, everybody got their sticks or whatever, and you just, you get around the TV and get your game on, you don't have that. Now you're stuck. So you need a method to do it. And the method is online. That's why we saw it on PC when we played, the first person games and everything, your shooters, your Quakes and stuff. And then it's like, oh man, we need to do that on console. That's where SOCOM came in and all that. And we got, now we get that. But if we're talking about just from a game functionality standpoint, people won't complain. But because people want to be able to interconnect and you want to play with other like-minded gamers potentially, that's where people will, on the flip side, say, hey, we don't have internet. We need that internet because we need to have that way to do it. Oh, okay. 35. Okay. So what I'm talking about then. Why not? Good.
Yeah,
all right.
I feel that. It makes me think about, and Dez, come on in, but it makes me think about how I told you guys how I really got introduced to the whole shooter thing. It was Nintendo 64 007, right? When I had 3 other people to play with, my cousins and stuff. Imagine if I know that's a little stretch because we weren't talking about shooters, but just imagine if you couldn't play Battlefield. I couldn't play with Dez and 65, unless I was at either one of their houses. That would be kind of crazy. But what you think, Dez, about this whole MLB servers nonsense, man, and how does it affect your experience, or does it even hurt the game at this point?
Yeah, what's up, man? I mean, I'm more like Smitty, man, where I'm mostly offline, from top to bottom. But speaking of 65, me and 65 played 2 games. Well, last weekend we played, and first off, it took us like 10, 15 minutes to even figure out how to play an unranked game between each other. And you find out that, like, unless I'm wrong, and please somebody let me know if you can invite somebody to a game within the game, but we couldn't figure out how to do it. So we ended up doing a share play basically. And it's like play together from the party, but it automatically isn't quick counts. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. The connection that we had was pretty good. But when I played 1 quick ranked game, and I streamed it, and I got punished on like 4 pitches, but for the rest of the time I was doing damage. I could not hit because the ball was coming up. The ball was, it was just, inching up to this. And I mean, I said it from my little bit of time playing online on 15 and on 16 that the lag was ridiculous, and that's the reason why I stopped buying 2K, man. Because the lag, I'm like, I can't, like, it's too different of a game than when I am playing side by side with 2K. That's when 2K is the most fun to me to this day, is when you're sitting on the couch next to somebody playing on the same screen, minus the substitutions getting in your way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no lag, you know what I mean? So it's smooth, so the game really plays the way it's supposed to. And the thing that trips me out with the show was like you said with Ramon talking about this is year 3, what he also said in the streams was that they got the full broadcast package in the online games. But if you watch the replays during the online games, it's like I don't even understand what's going on. It's like abstract art or something like that, man, because the ball is like it's nowhere near where it went. Like, it's like the ball be over your dude's head when he swings the bat, and then like it's just everything's broken, man. So if they didn't even worry about doing the broadcast package, like, this is a question I always ask, is like, is the internet infrastructure we have strong enough to power all these graphics and all these these different audio elements and everything that you can do in a game now that you couldn't do in the PS2 game or even PS3 game? Is it trying to? I'm not a networking person, but is it trying to transfer too much data? And you know what I'm saying? Like, is it trying to push too much through the straw? Figuratively speaking, with the internet. And that's what I always wonder about is, can it even handle it today? Do they need to scale back what they offer us today so that we can have time for Comcast and Verizon and whoever else to catch up? That'd be my question.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And y'all probably see me looking to the right. Y'all know that my little creeper be walking around. It's a good question, and it's funny, Des, because I'm gonna come back to you first, because this will roll us right into the next topic about Madden stability. So I'll give my quick thought on MLB. It's kind of like what Smitty said and what you said. For me, it hasn't affected me that much because I'm not a traditional MLB player. However, I want to see how it feels online, because quoting my boy AzureEffect, he always says, even with Madden, Smitty knows this, when we go down to the studio and we playing it, we be playing each other, we'll play against the computer, because y'all know we always in critic mode, right? So then we'll be like, let's play some head-to-head, because Azure will say this. That's when you know really where the game is at. Head-to-head is where it matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to play MLB to see how it fares. Very first game in Diamond Dynasty, disconnect in the 3rd inning, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it froze, and I was going to do a video about it, but I was like, you know what? There's so much out there now as far as I'll let it live. But I mean, it froze worse than any other game I've ever seen. Like, my guy was on first base, and he was frozen, and his mouth was still, doing the facial expressions and stuff like that. You can hear the crowd talking. It was just crazy. And I could not get out of the game. I had to literally shut it down. I'm like, wow. Not to say that they can't do that, but for somebody like me, that was my very first game. Not a good look. However, the game is good enough to me, gameplay-wise, being a sim gamer, but playing casually because I don't know the sport that well. I'm not having a problem with it not being online currently, because I'm playing franchise. things of that nature, and I can play Conquest, to get a little feel of that. But I do want to experience online. So if we're being fair, we have to knock them for it. Because like Smitty says, the same thing with 2K. Why is it year after year after year?
Every year, yeah.
We got to ask that question. Now, their gameplay is smooth, both games. Even though we know 2K got some nonsense with them, it's generally a decent game. But as much as we get on Madden as a whole, this whole community about some of the negative that they have as far as gameplay, you got to start saying that about these games and their service. Because every single year, people are saying they can't connect, they can't play in a league. Pro-Am seems to work more than anything else, but it's crazy, man. So Des, I'll come back to you, man. We might as well hit the next topic. Why doesn't Madden get enough credit for their stability? Gotta be one of the best games I've played as far as sports-wise. I haven't played FIFA online, so I don't know, but Madden seems to have it. Yeah, it might disconnect from time to time. I could count probably on my hand how many disconnects I've had this year. But why don't people give them enough credit for being a solid online gaming experience?
Because people just don't give enough credit, man. So it's I don't even think it's a question that Madden consistently is the number one now. You can say what you will about like in the last couple, maybe like 15 or 16, I can't remember which one it was, but I remember getting kicked from leagues a lot, like being in the menus. And like I remember getting booted from my league all the time, but I don't remember too many disconnects in the game. What really helped for me, and I didn't realize that it was so crucial for you to have your system wired. Like I didn't know that until like last year, for real. So I saved a lot, or I get a lot more like a lot more performance out of my whole system overall that I wasn't getting before. So to me, it's even better than it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like now with these games, and even with Madden, like Madden has its moments with kicking, with when you try to time up the a juke or a truck or something like that, and I always say like it's very inconsistent, like with the timing of the moves when you're playing online versus offline. But I definitely think Madden should get more credit for being more stable, all things considered. But like we always say too, you lose so much of the broadcast presentation in Madden too. So that's just like I'm saying with MLB. It's like you have to. It's a pie chart. That's what I'm saying with like the whole concept of the bandwidth and everything. Like I'm not gonna pretend I know the true definitions of all these things. But if you just think about it, all the stuff that you try and fit into this, I see my list of draft picks offline or against a CPU game, against a human opponent. I don't even get a replay. At the end of the game, if I'm playing against a human, if I stream the game, you just go to highlights, run the replays of your 10 plays, and then, you save them forever, and you can move on from there. I mean, that's a cut that you just have to make. I think it's a sacrifice, that hopefully they can figure out a way. Like I really want spectator mode in the next Madden. You know what I mean? But something along those lines, would that hurt the game for the people who actually playing it? So you can have this separate view for people to watch it without seeing all the play calls and the audibles or whatever, and you see it from, you know what I'm saying, like the products or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. What does Smitty think? Yeah,
that's a good one. Smitty, man, what do you think? Why doesn't Madden get the credit it deserves, particularly online? I mean, we probably know the answer to that, but what are your thoughts on it?
On the whole online credibility, Madden. Well, I mean, Madden always is going to be under the stigma that they don't ever do anything. Stuff's always going to be wrong. I mean, people complained about the online, this year too. I mean, there's always going to be some complaint level, but I mean, it was complained about like servers just been trashed for everybody. And I can't agree with that. Like, I apologize on that. You know, some people have better experiences than others. That's true. That's just like me playing Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that. I could play the game, I see somebody else play it. I could watch YouTube videos of like 10, 15 people play it, and then I'll play it and not get that experience, or I only get that kind of experience replicated sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But then I could play a game like I said earlier in the year, Titanfall. I could play Titanfall 2, hit detection and all that stuff is just clean as a whistle. Honestly, that game has the best service stability this year, hands down, because of the way that they got that worked out. But that game's heavily slept on. That and Watch Dogs too. But the point with Madden though is that there's always there's a general level of disdain for Madden because, and this is the reason why, because it's the only football game. The only football game that'll be produced anew each year. Now, like Sim and I, we touched on this in the past. If 2K made a football game, knowing all the problems that you have going on with 2K right now with the online connectivity, man, people would be like, hey, man, I like this 2K, but, man, this Madden, though, when it come to online, man, they need to get them servers. Like I promise you, they would still shout out EA and be like, man, they ain't got them servers like EA do them, man, because that connectivity is jacked up. That's why people don't complain about the Pro-Am as much, because that's where their money at. That's what they doing their E-League and stuff off of in a minute. It's off of that. So it's like everything else can be. Online leagues have been trash for years. For years, going back to 360 days. It's been jacked up. So all they care about ever since they struck gold with crew mode, that was all they cared about. Crew, and well, I don't know why they never went back to crew, but yeah, Madden, it's the same kind of deal. They do good with it, but because it's the only one out there, if somebody loses or you have some people lose within the connection area, all of a sudden, oh man, everything's broken. And you know how people co-sign on it. Oh, that's why the game's broke. They need to give up the license and blah 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 blah. You know that whole deal. So, but that's pretty much it, man. I mean, yeah, if you're the only one in the lane, that's just like saying if you're the only music producer in the land, everybody's not gonna love your music. But when you got Timbaland over here, Pharrell over there, Rottweiler over there,
that's good.
This company over here,
we in good company right there.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, exactly. When you got all these people to pick from. Let's say you was just if you was just stuck with, I don't know my man's name, I forgot his name, dude that can't rap for nothing, but he got the red braids in his hair or whatever. If you was just stuck with that crap,
I give you a good example. And at one time we all loved it, but it was one style. Imagine if all you had was Lil Jon. That's it. Just think about that for a minute. Now, that ain't a diss to Lil Jon, fighting people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
All we had was Lil Jon. That's it. One flavor. Crunk, 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 crunk.
Exactly. That's my point.
A lot of pickup football games.
Heck yeah. A lot of young bloods and dudes drinking out of oil cans and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they wouldn't give a damn, so they would throw it up.
Right.
But yeah, man, I think Smitty hit it perfect right there. It's funny, man, because, and Smitty knows this, with us being on the side of it that we are, it's so much, man. It's so much that the Madden people, I don't even know how to phrase this, Smitty. It's so much that they want to do for the people. Y'all have no idea. It's to say that they don't care is the farthest thing from the truth. But when you're the only one out there, you're gonna get criticized. But you people don't give them enough credit. And to me, I feel like you got to be well-rounded. Y'all notice we talk about every game on this show, even shooters. You have to. You know, if one company does this, I want to see the next company do it their way. You know, like people don't acknowledge the things that are being borrowed from Madden. We pointed out, but people don't want to give them no credit. You know, what you think the moments thing they got now, MLB The Show, where do you think that came from? Let's play the moment all day long. You know what I mean? But people will never give them credit. But as far as online, man, there ain't much more I have to say on it. I agree. I don't really have any problems. I know PX1 was saying you should be hardwired, not with Madden. Well, with me, you know, I'm not bragging, but with me, I don't really have problems with none of the games I play online on Wi-Fi. You know, most of the time I hardwire when I'm down in the man cave, but like a lot of times y'all notice, you know, this is the same background. Even when I'm streaming, I'm sitting right here. You know what I mean? Like when I'm not able to be down in the cave, I'm sitting right here on Wi-Fi and I'm actually streaming. And look how good like MLB comes out and a stream on Wi-Fi. And I've played people online. Yeah, the times y'all seen me play Madden online against an opponent and streaming, I'm on Wi-Fi. And there's no issue. So you got to give Madden credit. One thing I will say, though, guys, that most people don't know, Rex talked about this a little bit before the game dropped. They did change the way that they do their connections. Most of y'all might not know this. If your unit doesn't have, or your router or whatever, if you don't have lag on your side and your opponent's does, it won't affect you. And I'm not going to begin to explain what it is. I'm not going to go that far down the road, you know, because I'm not that much of a techie person. But whatever it is they did, they explained it to us last year, but they have it to where your connection is your connection. So if, say, Smitty is playing me, I'm lagging out, he has a perfect connection, it won't affect him at all. He'd still be playing like he playing offline. I'm the one being affected because somehow they're not. I don't know. I don't want to explain it, but somehow they're not tied together the way they used to be, or they're not pinging off of the same area. So I don't know, but they made a change that way, and that's why if you guys are saying you've seen an improvement in 17, that's why. And I have noticed it. But yeah, man, give Madden a little credit, man. I don't know why y'all try to act like Madden don't do nothing right. Moving on, guys. We going right through this, man. We'll talk about the NFL draft and pro days and things of that nature. And I'll take it down this road, and then I'll throw it to Dez first, then go to Smitty, because I know Dez had this idea in mind in terms of how it will relate to Madden, how they could integrate these things. What I'll speak on real quick is just, I had a question a few weeks ago and we never got to it. It was one of the topics and we never even discussed it. Are pro days in the NFL important? I think they're very important, and here's the reason why. And this is also how it connects to Madden. Anything that you see happen in the NFL, as far as talent and talent scouting, it's all based on projection, right? You look at what they can do on film, which I think should be enough. But the pro days allow you to look at guys that you may not have had a chance to see all of the film, and you see what their measurables are. And then you can go back and look at the film and see how that's playing out. At least that's how I would do it. I've heard some other NFL coaches say that they use the pro days to see, okay, what is this guy's raw skill? What can we expect him to be able to do? Okay, based on this speed, he should be able to do that. Based on the way he ran that route, he should be able to do this. Based on the way he turns his hips and the way his footwork is, he should be able to do this. Then they go look at the film and see how it plays out. Now, it's interesting, guys, that I say that because y'all know the whole situation with Tabor running that super slow 40 in terms of cornerbacks. But you cut his tape on, the boy's balling. So it's kind of like some people would say, well, Sim, what you just said, that's a contradiction. Not necessarily, because that's college. That ain't the NFL. You understand what I'm saying? Even though he played at a pretty well-known school, obviously, but that ain't the NFL. So I think that's another reason why the pro days are also important, so they can get a chance to really see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because college, you just never know. Like, look at a guy like Derek Rivers. Everybody is kind of quiet on him because they're saying, well, he went to a small school. We don't know. Let me tell you who else went to a small school. Y'all know I'm going to keep it still for a moment. Javon Hargrave. Boy ended up starting as a nose tackle. He went to South Carolina State. But you know why he got drafted? Because our coach, John Mitchell, the D-line coach, went to his pro day, and he literally said he begged Tomlin and Colbert to pick him if he was available in the third round, begged for him to do it because he saw something. See what I'm saying? Look at guys like Mean Joe Green. The dude went to North Texas. That ain't no big school, definitely not back then, but look what he ended up being. So to me, that's why I think pro days and stuff like that is important, because the tape, if you're looking at SEC, ACC and these kind of conferences, yeah, you can look at the tape, because if a dude balling out in the SEC, there's a good chance he could play pretty well in the NFL. It's a chance. But some of these smaller schools, man, I think the pro days definitely are important, just because it's projecting. What can he possibly do? And real quick before I throw it to Dez, I'll say my Madden piece real quick. Madden needs this if we're ever going to get to a point where the game is respecting more traits, abilities, badges, whatever you want to call them. Because now, imagine in CFM, y'all heard us say it a million times, now you got to send your scouts out, right? Not only do you send out the scouts, but now if I send my scouts out and Dez sends his scouts out, but Smitty don't send his scouts, we might get a better opportunity, to get a little more knowledge on this guy, because our scouts went and they sat down, they talked to him. Because just think about NCAA. Remember all the pitches and stuff? So imagine in Madden, you can have the option to have dinner with him, meet with his family, phone call, or just talk to him, at pro day, or just talk to him at combine. And depending on how far you go, you might be able to unlock more information about him. I don't want to steal this from Dez, but I know he's going to talk about this. Imagine storylines. Maybe you'll find out a little more about him the more you sit down with this guy and you find out, oh, he got a little checkered past. But just think of how crazy that would be and how immersive that would be, which happens in the NFL. So that's how I think they can relate it to Madden, is not only finding out their behavior, but, maybe now I get to find out a little more than just his bench press. I can find out more stuff because I went to the pro day and things like that. And that gives me more points that I can use in the draft, more knowledge. So that's why I think it's important in both the NFL and definitely, I would love to see that type of stuff off season, off field immersion that dictates what happens on the field. But of course, the gameplay has to accommodate it. But take it away, Des, man. I know this was a topic that you wanted to discuss, so definitely let us know, man, what you got on that.
Man, listen, the draft, the whole process of acquiring, developing, and turning over players in Madden and CFM, to me, that's the biggest point to me that they need to hit on in 18. That's the number one thing to me. Because the draft now, like, I appreciate that we were gone from the days where you had to scroll through every attribute and, try to unlock every attribute from the guys when you had 50,000 scouting points that you had to apply and whatnot, and you had to go every single thing. So I like the system of having it be the top 3 attributes. I like that. I like that you lose points if you don't do scouting week to week. So you kind of do have a certain amount of that already in there, a little bit. But, the big thing that I want to be able to scout for is I want to scout for injury, for stamina, things like that, because you can't get that in the current system. And you draft, this running back that's going to be a dog, or this linebacker, or this corner, and they got 73 injury. That's the number one thing that teams can really vet for a player is their medical records. So, scars don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a guy, I stopped playing football because I accumulated too many scars too quickly. I'll put it like that, right? Playing at a college in your neck of the woods, Sim, and I was there my freshman year at Pro Day, watching guys who got drafted, top 100, and it was unreal because at the HBCU, talking about the MEAC, you might get 6,000 or 7,000 fans, but only 1,000 of them pay attention to the game. Like, nobody cares about the game.
Not at the MEAC. No.
Okay. No. It's halftime and it's stunting, period, in the stands.
Exactly.
So when it's Pro Day though, and it's the springtime, and now the stadium is packed, you know what I'm saying? And the field is buzzing, and like everybody's there for football. And then the underclassmen get a chance to do their workouts on the side. So you see the guys that you're looking up to, maybe one spot above you on the depth chart or a couple years ahead of you in the classroom or on the field. And you're just like, man, this is the real deal. Like, maybe I could do this. You know what I mean? So you have a guy who's coming from, whether it's a small school or a big school, everybody has something to prove, right? Because if you're talking about the NFL, and where's Big Sean to co-sign this? Like,
right.
The only goal I feel like the only goal a GM should have is figuring out how to replace everybody on their team at all times. When it all boils down, if you notice the nature of the sport, the game of football, professional football is pay as little money as possible and keep them for as long as possible until you don't need them and you can find somebody better. And that's funny in my little leagues. We've become so much more savage with our teams because, in previous years, we'd be like, oh, I got to keep my guys. But now that they got the regression so outrageous, it's like, I can't keep you past 29, 30. Like, it's really no point. So if you want to make it so that the focus of CFM is to keep getting younger and keep getting younger and keep getting younger and shedding the old players, then you need to make me invest more into the young players before they even get in the league. Especially if we can't customize draft classes and we can't make it that much more of our own. Like, man, at least let us, get, 100% max scouting on a player. And you can only get that max scouting if your coach is scouting a player in his scheme or something like that. I could go on and on about that, man. I'm not going to, but the whole, like, this time of year, the more and more drafts you go through, just as a fan, like, the more you realize that the Mel Kipers and the Daniel Jeremiahs and all that, like, it's all nonsense. It's something I kicked around. Listen, they show, and I can't, I can't wait for, dog. I cannot wait for the 30 for 30, like 10 years from now, to come out that shows all the little underhanded deals that happened between the Mel Kipers and I please don't sue me for libel right now. This is just my conspiracy theory, but you got to wonder how much money those agents are paying those pundits, man. How much money are those agents paying those pundits, man? He moved up into my top 5. Oh, yeah. He just so happened to move up to Joe Mixon last night, dog. Joe Mixon moves up into Mike Mayhawk's top 5. 2.5 weeks before the draft, the dude who knocked out his girl on camera, but just so happened to have run a 4.4 at 2 1/4. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, like, if we know that the NFLPA would never let Madden have simulated drama, you would never be able to have your dude get suspended for an off the field incident, even if they just called it off field incident, 3 games or something like that. Right. It's still not even about why would they do that, right? That would never happen. So make the drama in the whole, like, leave it on the football field and in the front office. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it so much more dramatic for you to find that gem, or for you to land that free agent, or for you to find that draft pick at this time of year, and you give your fan base hope you could get a boost to your team popularity because you made splash free agency moves, or you moved up in the draft. Now your fan support went up that much more. I mean, like I said, I'll go on and on, but I'm gonna kick it back to y'all, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, and we could keep going, man. We could circle back. Smitty, I know you got some things to say in regards to this, man. Like, I mean, we know it's almost a dead horse that we've beaten, but we have to. So, man, what you think? I mean, why is that stuff important? How could Madden implement it, and why do we need it in Madden first and foremost? Look like you're on mute, Smitty.
You're muted, yeah.
All right, how about now?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, there we go. All right, now, well, we need that stuff in the game because you need to be able to evaluate the players. You know, you need to be able to do that. But the players that you know make those decisions on, it also just can't be a placebo thing either.
Right.
You know, this stuff has to matter altogether. Like if you're gonna, you know, let's say you can actually do drills with the players. See, my whole thought process with this, that's why I had it muted. I was looking at some College Hoops 2K8 because that legacy, outside of that Operation Sports article we already talked about back then, that's it. You know what I mean? Like you had the film. I mean, because when you said the NCAA doing the visit, I was like, wait, let me think about the College Hoops because you could visit the player, you could send an email, you could get film, you could go to the game, play the game using him, and see how the player is, and
one
then
of the best
evaluate
dynasty modes of all time. In that game.
And then you can say, who do you want to send to go see the kid? Do you want to go as a head coach? Do you want to send your assistant or the second assistant or whatever? And then your coaching staff, how good are they? What caliber are they? Can they even close the deal? Or do you as a head coach have to do that? And on top of that, you only have so much availability. Like I think it's like travel hours or something. That you can do
plane.
So you got to make a decision. Do I want to send my head coach and do this? Do I want to do that? Because I also got these other recruits. So it's like it's the same thing when you look at the NFL. Those kind of decisions, you got to be able to make all that, and you don't have that in Madden right now. Matter of fact, real talk. And always just saying that's 2K's product. 2K, y'all slipping. That should be in. That should have been in 2K basketball like right now. That should be there today. Like,
Smitty, do you know? Send me do y'all know if you could still in 2K's association or whatever they call it now? You used to be able to pick however many players in the offseason. You could do like 1-on-1, 5-on-5, 2-on-2. Like you could do it. I think that was like 2K10 or 11 maybe.
I remember.
I don't know if y'all remember that.
I do. I don't.
But you could actually play with the guys. And on PS2 Madden, you used to be able to play the Senior Bowl on PS2 Madden.
Oh, yep.
So like they were definitely both in EA and 2K. They both had times where you could play with those players, man.
Yeah, no, that's true. But yeah, now in 2K, yes. You were able to do that. I remember you play on the blacktop, or no, you play in the practice court or something like that, and you could do it. But then Madden, yes, you had the Senior Bowl, and especially when you had your NCAA rosters, you bring them boys in, play the Senior Bowl with them, and all that. Man, like I said, but I'm trying to bring it back on track with the. As far as
sorry, man.
You know what I'm saying? But no, it's cool. It's cool though. It's cool. But
Smitty, look at what Kia said. I almost forgot about that. Look at his comment if you see it there.
Hold on, let me go. You can recruit guys earlier.
I remember that.
See,
for real.
See,
crazy.
You know what? It's like 2K knew we weren't making another one, so let's just go. Let's just go balls to the wall. On this 2K,
man, I played that game 10 times more than I played NBA 2K.
Yeah.
2K8 was the game. I put 2K8 down as far as the NBA product.
Yeah.
That game was phenomenal, man.
Yep. Yeah. But
college football didn't get ported to PS3 and 360 though, right? That was only on PS2.
It was only the two they did on PS2. Yep.
Yeah.
And what sucked with that though was that neither one of the games you couldn't take the rosters and port them into 2K NFL. You couldn't do it. What was I going to say? like that element I said, doing the recruit, the whole visiting players and stuff like that, being able to do that stuff with Madden. I'm gonna send our coaching staff, take a look at this, excuse me, doing the pro days and everything. You're talking about your pro days and all that. Because you got in Madden, you got dudes that skip the combine. Why? There's no reason. You have no storyline to go by. You got nothing. They just didn't do it. Well, why did they skip? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it's like they do, but they're hidden all the way in the back, and it's like it needs to be all in the front. But you need to be able to unravel some stuff, because in college hoops, it was a requirement. You had to do the stuff, because if you didn't do it, your squad's just gonna suck. Like going forward, like you're gonna be like, oh man, what did I do? Like you did nothing. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Madden, you can go on autopilot. Don't necessarily need to use your draft points, and you can still come away and be solid. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we don't play the game that way necessarily, but I'm saying, but we can though. And we're straight. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, if you don't scout, if you don't train your players up, if you don't do these things, like the game needs to penalize you for it. There needs to be something where you have to do these things in order to make your players better. Like when I streamed a while back in Madden 08, you want to make your player better, do this drill. You had all the different drills, and you picked the player to do the drill with, but then it was like you play it on all 4 difficulty, rookie, pro, all Madden, but you risk the points. You risk the rating points. If you don't get gold, you lose it all or something like that. If you don't get this amount of points, you lost all of it. So you can keep the little bit you got and maybe boost your guy up a point or two, and then that's all you get. Or you can go for more and go for broke and just lose. See, that's the kind of stuff that, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this, but I don't want to push it. I'm going to do that, but I don't want to push it. It gives you it's something you got to think about. Like, I want to make my team better, but what chance do I want to take? And then once again, you had solid core player movement, which we talked about, a billion times here. Yeah. You had pass placement in there, which you talk about that vision cone and how that all worked. See, these are mechanics we're talking about here that get rid of the whole robo mechanical aspect and linebackers that can cover 8 positions, 8 routes on the field all at once, and then engage with the line. You get all that out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And then now we're talking a football game. And when you look at, even on the tournament front, I watch the tournaments. I see it. It's entertaining, but it's not fun. And because it's not football. I don't care whose stadium it's in. It's not football. You gotta put the core emphasis has got to be football first. Whatever the game premise is, it needs to be football first, not video game. That's why I said last week, it's ironic to see how many people get mad at Volterax when these dudes cheese all the time. Just because it looks like football, oh, these dudes are nickel 2 blitzing all day long. Yeah, it looks football enough that it's acceptable visually. But take somebody and swerve them on the field, all of a sudden everybody want to throw tomatoes. Y'all should be mad at each other. Y'all, these dudes all cheat to win. So it's like, I don't see how you gonna get mad at this one guy because you see something you visually don't like, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's cheating. I'm like, what the heck you think all these other dudes been doing for all these years? Rocket catching and stuff, they've been cheating for years.
The infamous fullback dive last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. But but like I said, as far as recruiting, scouting and recruiting, make it more immersive. Take from if not NFL, excuse me. If EA wanted to take from their own wheelhouse in the past, go back to Madden 08, where you had those combine drills, you had the sprinting, you had the weightlifting. When players got hurt, you could use those drills to either help them boost their recovery time. Or if you didn't do the drills right and you didn't score good, they could get hurt and be out longer. Kind of like a trade-off like what 2K did with their system. If you were too aggressive with training or too aggressive with potential rehab, they could be out for a longer period of time. So this is kind of stuff that we need, though, man. Like, it's all out there. So these are the games that we talk about, man. And like I said, we could go on all day talking about 2K8 and that and Madden 07 and bringing in the recruitment classes and all that and playing senior bowls and everything. Man, shoot. I mean,
You know what happened though, Smitty, is what you talked about last week with MLB. This is the truth about Madden that most people don't. I ain't gonna say they don't get it because I don't want to, discredit somebody. But what you don't really look at is the fact that they took stuff out. That's a problem. Like Smitty said, MLB don't seem to take nothing out. They just keep going. So the fact that Madden removed a lot of that stuff when they came over to the 360 and then even coming over to the next generation, it takes longer for them to get it back. Because me and Smitty know that for fact. Because now you got all this other stuff that you have to do. You got obligations. You got yearly obligations to do this, do this, do this. But then you got to find time to go back and grab something. It's not as easy as we thought. Smitty knows before we went down there, I'm thinking, man, NCAA had that. Just put it in Madden. Nah, it don't work like that. They can't just dump it in Madden. And I was like, okay, I understand it now talking to engineers. But then when you hear Rex come out and say, man, there's so much old stuff, even that we got to rip out, that's bad for the game to rebuild. But that does explain even the stuff that is no longer there that once was there. Had they followed the format of carrying everything over, they wouldn't be in this situation. We should still have the Tony Bruno show or some form of it. Still have the transactions where you can front load and restructure. All that stuff should still be there. But somebody got the bright idea when they rolled over to the 360. Let's scrap everything and start from scratch. So now it's harder. I don't want to say harder, but it's going to take a lot of time to get all this stuff that we all are talking about, even though we want it. It's going to take a long time because now they got to build that stuff in the plans. And you can kind of understand, got to put the business hat on for a moment. You can kind of understand the business model of the guys with the ties on, right? They thinking, man, look, we'll get to that when we get to it. Like, it ain't stopping nothing right now. It's not important, to them, because you got to think. Remember, Rex said these dudes don't know football. I got to sometimes explain to them why this needs to be in the game. So imagine you going to the executive telling him, listen, my crowd, they're really asking for restructured contracts. You know what they're going to say? How does it work now? Is it working? It is? Okay, we'll get to it next time. We got to do this now. And that's the sad part about business. But us CFM heads, man, got to keep pounding the table because eventually it's going to crack. It's going to crack because y'all know we've made noise about other things over the years. May have taken a little while, but we got it. So we just going to have to keep pounding the table, man. I mean, I put John White to the test every time we talk. I was like, you always asking for feedback. Remember this time, Smitty, when they asked us one time, I said, it's the same thing I told you last time. That's my feedback. That still ain't there. So you don't have to keep asking me that every time. Until you get these things, I'm going to tell you the same thing again. So that's just how that goes, man. But we'll see.
There's several of us that do it. Like there's guys that are extremely more hardcore about it.
Oh yeah,
in the group that are like rolling eyes in the back of their head.
Shop master.
Yeah. Mark, you know what I'm saying? Like dudes were bad, like dog. Didn't I say like they say it like they tell it, you know what I mean? Like they tell it with emphasis because they've said it like, what are the main things you want? this, that. Like they tell it, man. So
that's just like Deuce Douglas post. And Smitty, no, I put it in that group page that we all connected to with EA, and I said, hey, when everything on this list is done, then ask me what else we need. You ain't gotta ask me nothing else. You never have to ask me, Sim, Smitty, Azure, community. What do y'all want from CFM? Is that list done? Is the whole list done? It ain't? All right, well, you know what else you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, straight up. Like, as soon as we went through it, I was like, yo, that's it. As soon as they acknowledged it, that's it.
That's your blueprint.
Like, yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Will it take a while? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to be the one to bear bad news, but it's going to take a minute to get all of that, because just some of the stuff that we know, man, it's you know what? And that segues, and I didn't even mean to do that, segues into the next topic. And I'll kick this one off, and then I'll throw it to Smitty and then to Des. It's because of things we know. It's the reason why y'all always hear us say, like, I'm being truthful with y'all right now. This is why you always hear us say, oh, that's going to take a minute. For whatever reason. Either Smitty and I know exactly what the plan is, which a lot of times we do, or we know based on other conversation roundabout when they probably going to get to certain things. So we can tell you that right now. That ain't breaking no rule. Yeah, it's going to take a minute to get all of this stuff that we talking. I mean, it's going to be a while. Let's just be honest. But speaking of that, man, as far as NDAs and all that, this NBA Live stuff, this NBA Live 18 stuff, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but there's a video. I don't even want to really promote it like that. And no disrespect to the dude, but y'all know I speak my mind. There's a video out there that is leaked footage, screenshots or whatever from NBA Live 18. Now, ironically, he's actually giving credit to the game in some kind of roundabout way, saying, how certain things in 2K they said, but it don't matter, and Live seems to look like it's doing stuff. The point I wanted to make was this. I don't understand leak footage. I don't get it. Unless you are TMZ, where your job is to tell us, oh, Trump did this now, or so-and-so passed away, or whatever the case. Unless you're an actual journalist in a news outfit, then y'all find information and it's not necessarily leaked. You're just the first one with it. In terms of video games, what's the purpose? Like, let's just be honest. Because most of the time, you know what's going to happen? Your channel going to get shut down. So if you were doing it for views, congratulations. So how many views you got in that little bit of time?
That's it.
Congrats, because it's going to get cut. Number two, you're dealing with NDA. Because what this guy may not know, which I know, and I actually even found out. I'm not going to give y'all any sources, but I even had some conversation today. Oh, legal is after him. It's not going to be pretty. Legal is on this situation. And this goes back to what we always say. The NDA stuff is real. Not even just because of that. Not even saying, oh, I'm scared I ain't scared of them. Forget all of that. Here's the real thing that I want to say, man. Like I said, if dude sees this, he might take it the wrong way. Listen, I don't care. No hard feelings, but dog, if you're wrong, I'm going to call it out. The reason why it's a big deal, man, imagine if it's your company and you got this brand new thing that you want to present, and Sim finds out, and then Sim presents it before you can. Kills your whole, this is your baby that you've been working on, and then Sim found it. Like, listen, I'm gonna just use myself as an example. I found it and dumped it out there before you get a chance to present it to the world the way that you want to present it. So you allow negative perception or whatever, even, watch out, man, even good feedback to come in a direction that you don't want it to come in. Think about that for a minute. This is your company, your product, whatever it is. Hey, I'll give it to you in even better layman term. Let's say you went off somewhere and you found the girl of your dreams, right? You don't want nobody to know y'all done went and eloped, and you're gonna just debut this. Look at my girl, we're married now. But imagine if I found out first and I posted it on Facebook. Killed the whole thing. Or like people who have babies, they don't want the gender told. But then I find out, and then I just posted, oh, they're having a boy. Congratulations. And y'all looking like, come on, bro. But that's how you got to look at it from a business standpoint. There's some competition stuff there too, which is another thing. But you can't be mad at the company and why they upset about it or why they take this stuff seriously, because that's really the main ingredient. It's your product. You want to present it to the world the way you want them to see it. So at the end of the day, man, I just feel like that, to me, that's whack. I don't understand what leak footage does for you on YouTube. I really don't. Outside of the fact that you thinking you're gonna get some views or whatever, but let me tell you something. Your channel will get shut down, bro, real quick, and it probably will. So that's just stupid. But again, last little piece I would say, this is the reason why you hear Smitty and I respect the NDA. We've made a commitment to this company to say, all right, y'all gonna tell us stuff, we gonna hold it, we gonna tuck it until y'all want us to talk about it. And that's just character. At the end of the day, what I always say, social media exposes people's character. That's like Smitty telling me something in confidence and I run off and tell everybody else. He gonna be like, come on, Sam, thought you was my man. I'm telling all his business. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna say nothing, Smitty. He tells me. And then I got, oh, look what Smitty said. Look, I got a text right here. Boy, it's coming. That's whack, man. Like I said, I always relate everything back to how I grew up. We ain't cut from that cloth, man. I mean, I know some people will say, oh, that's just a video game, you're taking it too serious. No, trust me, your character is on display how you act on social media. That is you. So just my little piece on it, Smitty, man. What you feel? What you got on that?
Well, pretty much, I mean, you know, my whole feeling on it is that and I mean, you pretty much said it, but it's like when people show this blatant disrespect after, like this guy in particular that made the videos, he went to the studio. He said he was in there. And for him to leak this stuff out, these are the kind of opportunities. And I spoke to some cats earlier, you know, big shout out to my dudes, Cornell, shout out to Erica, shout out to the live team and everything, you know, all these cats working on these games. And even from that standpoint, shout out to 2K, their dev team, Madden, their dev team, all these different game companies, all of them. This is a whole gaming standpoint. Just like what Sim just said, you had a leak with this Star Wars footage. These dudes, I seen tweeted from the EA account. I seen it tweeted from the Star Wars account. Man, we got this production. We've been working on it. We got something for you guys. Just wait. And then something's leaked. See what I'm saying? That's bull. You know what I'm saying? That's very annoying. Because it's like, to me, I see the clip that they show, and it was out there, and I was, you know, I caught wind of it. I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm like, man, that's bullcrap that somebody came out and teased it like that. It's like, on one hand, yeah, it's cool to see, but at the same time, though, from a creator standpoint, if I'm part of the team that created this production, I'm gonna be mad about that, because it's like, man, I worked on this stuff. It's supposed to come out 2:30 p.m. Eastern Saturday, and you got dudes out here. Somebody got a hold of it and just ran off with it. You gave somebody the confidence, and then they go ahead and do something like that. See what I'm saying? That's corny. Any game company, not just one in question. So when you see this stuff, but when we look at live and all the stuff that's happened to the franchise and why the franchise has fell down the way it is and why it's in this down position it's in, and it's trying to make its way back up, you don't need people out here doing all these videos. There's people I see that be dropping videos every few days. Roster editing coming back to Live 18. Historic rosters are going to be in Live 18. This is going to be in Live 18. All these things, like they're saying, all these things are going to be in Live. And my thing about doing that is when you do all of that spamming / clickbait titles and all that, yeah, you may get your little views and you may get a few subs and all that stuff, because that's essentially all you're doing. Because if the game don't hit because you set these false expectations, they're going to blame you for a minute, but then they'll move on and they'll still watch your vids. But it's going to ultimately fall on EA. EA is going to fall on the sword that you set up for them to fall on, because you put that clickbaity nonsense out there. So when you got so it adds further insult to injury when you make these videos and you're putting this stuff out there like that. Like you can't be doing that stuff, man. Leaking photos and stuff. And then you got this one dude that does all these videos. Like I said, he has all these titles confirming. He's, this is confirmed and that's confirmed and this is confirmed. And he said that he spoke to one of the NBA Live devs, and he got permission to make the videos in the way that he's making them. What NBA Live dev is saying that they want you to make videos with clickbaity titles saying, hey, this is confirmed for Live, knowing that folks sign NDAs. Now, Sim and I have been going down to EA since 2012. Ain't nobody in their right or left mind came up and said, hey, yeah, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and you could go ahead and say what you want. Just don't show anything. Get the heck out of here. Ain't say no dumb stuff like that. Ain't no dev okay with that. I talked to some of these dev team members and everything in general. They don't like that kind of stuff. Because if whatever you say misses the mark, guess who's going to take the heat of it? They are. Mm-hmm. Not you. They'll front on you for a minute, but then after that, they're going to leave. They'll bypass you, and they're going to look right at you. And then guess what? NBA 2K comes out, and they're going to look right at, oh, look what 2K did. But what happened? EA was supposed to have 80 billion things done in their game this year. How come it didn't happen? Like, see? But you had all these people out here telling you guys all these stories about how all these things happened and how they were at the studio and this is what was in the game. No. That's why we tell you, like Sim says, we ain't here to mislead you. We tell you the real. We keep it a buck with you. It's always best to wait until you get an official release. I don't care. Look, Sim's going to be at EA Play. I'll be there too. I don't care if you see interviews that he does. I don't care if you see interviews that I do. But what I do care about is that you get proper information. So I'd rather you hear from the devs directly and them say, hey, guys, this is what happened with our game. This is what we did. And you're hearing it from the Sean O'Briens, the Connor Duggins, the Clint Olenbergs, the John Whites, the A-Dubs. You see what I'm saying? I'd rather you hear it from them instead of some cat sitting at home trying to get subs and views, talking a certain way and putting up Photoshop thumbnails. Oh, my God. That's what I'm hearing from those guys, which is a lot more credible because – because this is one thing, and I'll cap it with this. When the game gets ready to come out, or even during EA Play, I can guarantee you these people will be tweeting these developers left and right. You ain't gonna be tweeting MC such and such who had all this stuff to say. You're gonna be tweeting the people that work on these games with questions. Let's say if they go on Periscope or something like that, like Sean Grady did last year. You're going to be saying, oh, man, let me ask him a question. Let me ask him a question. You ain't going to be looking at two-way TV. You're not going to be looking at And I know no disrespect to them, but you're not gonna be looking at like Live Stream Team or any of these other cats. You're gonna be looking straight at those devs and saying, I want to hear what the devs got to say about the game that they worked on. How come they did XYZ? And one thing that I've always said as a measure of precaution, listen to me when I say this, because I say it the most. Sim says it too, AZ does too, but I say it the most. We want all these things done in the game, okay? But it is going to take time. I say that every time we talk about Madden, because there are things people want done in the game, and we're like, listen, we tell the devs, they understand, they want it too, but it's going to take time. The same rule of thumb applies to NBA Live. So all y'all cats that are running around following these other people telling you 8 billion things are going to happen, they make the way these dudes are painting the picture, because EA has had this time frame between Live 16 to whenever Live 18 comes out. See, they're painting this picture that essentially everything that was done from NBA Live 96 all the way up till now is going to be in the game. No, it's not. Okay, so let me tell you right now, there's going to be things that you may not have in the game. Give those suggestions, but understand that when it comes to that stuff actually happening, that is going to take time. So don't be I can't believe everything ain't there. Nope. It's going to take time. These dudes have a plan in terms of what they plan to do to get this franchise where it needs to be at, and it's going to take them time to get it there. That's why you got to be realistic with your expectations in terms of what would be done potentially in this game. So I'm just telling you guys right now, be careful with all that. Don't set yourself up for failure, because I tell you what, if something comes out that you don't see, what happened to all this? Don't double back and look at EA, even though people will. Double back around and look at those people who told you all these things that said it was confirmed. Okay, so check with them and find out why that didn't happen. They should be able to tell you the answer, because if they sat back and minded their own business, they would know what's up. So from that point, you got myself. Like I said, I'll be there. Sim will be there. You will have, for the first time actually, because I wasn't able to do it before, you will have double dosage of the interviews. So we will have every single freaking base we could possibly cover in terms of these games. We're talking to these devs when we go to EA Play. So you'll hear it from us. There'll be other people too. Don't get me wrong. Check out everybody. But we will be well covered with everything we can ask and find out all the news that we can for you about these games. So we want to make sure you guys are as well informed as possible. And even from what we're able to capture and show you guys, we're going to do everything we can to show you guys this game as much as we can, so that way you guys get a good covering and serving as far as what's happening with these titles. So just keep it plugged in right here with us.
It's crazy, man. I definitely want to hear what Dez has to say, but I just had to say this little quick piece. Like you said, like, dude attended an event. Like, bro, I don't get that, man. Like I said, that's character. Like, honestly, what's the point if I were to do that, right? Let's say I was in the game changing all of that. Or even, I'll give you one better. I decide I don't want to do it no more. And I come back, and now I'm telling you all of this stuff about, this is what they're doing. I don't like this, I don't like that. Y'all real ones out there, what would y'all think about me then? Let's be honest. You'd be like, man, this dude ain't what I thought he was. He's a phony. He's corny. Because real people don't do that. I don't want to hear, it's just a game, but that's the point. It's just a game, and you conducting yourself like that. That's corny. Mm-hmm. Come on. I mean, you coming inside somebody's crib saying you're going to abide by their rules, and, you got a little bond with them for the moment, then you go spill the beat. That is corny, son. We don't fly like that. So people can say what they want about, y'all just being loyal. Of course, I'm going to be loyal. I'm loyal to whoever I'm cool with. Period. So I don't get that. I don't get the mentality of somebody doing that, because what does it get you? What does it get you at the end of the day? Because real people gonna look at you and do what we're saying. And like I said, I don't know the dude. There's no beef or nothing like that. I'm sure I could shake his hand and everything. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. I want people to do that to me. Call it out. You can't allow like corny stuff to fly and people applaud that. No. I ain't from that generation. I ain't from that. You know, we don't do that. You got to call it out and let them know what it is, and then you move on. But, what you think, Daz, man? What you got on that?
It's just way more dramatic than I thought it was, man. I didn't know that it was. I gotta tell you the truth. I don't even know what in the world you're talking about, man. But you know, the one thing that I want to have happen, Smitty, I need you to start a series, man. I need you to start a series, maybe like I don't know, like an angry catcher, and give him a crazy face and make him talk in that voice. Your disgruntled community member voice, man. Nah, man. I mean, because I would be just a guy, you know, in this context. You know what I mean? I don't have any, you know, I'm not privy to anything that the rest of the public isn't. And the one game I remember off the top of my head that had like at least 7 different number one sources of all information was Grand Theft Auto 5. Like the fact that we got, I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head, man, but I feel like it was like 3-4 years between like when we saw the first trailer, or at least 2 years when we saw the first trailer to when we actually got a release date. And then when the release date got pushed back and all that, like there were all these people that had all these videos that were just replaying the trailer and just showing you all these little different tidbits that had come out. And the type of person I am, like when I get on something, like I'm really trying to find every little thing I can. So I'm on page 7 of a Google search, you know, still trying to find at least links that I don't think is going to destroy my computer or my phone. But, you know, I'm still trying to dig and find everything I can. You can pretty easily discredit something now just based on when it's coming out, you know, anybody who's co-signed it. I mean, it's not too complicated to find fake news in the sports gaming space specifically. I can't speak to anything else like that, but you know, you don't really need to be too smart. You know, if you've been following along for a while, you've been part of this game. So it's like, you know, to me, man, what you hope is that it doesn't end up hurting y'all. You know what I mean? Like the Sims and the Smitties and the, you know, the whoever's of the world, you know, on y'all level to where, you know, the whole entire program is getting scaled back. You had too many fights at recess, so now there is no recess. You know what I'm saying? Like if right. Y'all have, you know, I mean, that was my elementary school, right? So we had, you know, I don't want the, you know, to be ruined for y'all. So, you know, I hope and I mean, you got to figure, man, if you're one of those lawyers, you know, lawyers live for those type of situations. Like they dare somebody to brush past them and make eye contact with them and really try them and be like, you really want to go there right now? All right, I'll cancel my golf tomorrow and I'm gonna go ahead and litigate the mess out of you. And you're gonna sit here and look stupid. And this is sport to us. This is to prove a point. This is just because we want to win. You know what I'm saying? We went to school for 7 years so we could win for the next 35. We ain't about to play with your little dumb ass who want to sit down on YouTube.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying? Like now, but I'm not behind the curtain, so this is unverified. This could be fake news. Who knows, right? Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
The whole point, man, is you know, the whole point is, man, is you know, I hope that, you know, we can be trusted with the responsibility, like collectively as a gaming community at the very least. And, you know, I don't know how y'all can sit here and have these conversations week in and week out, knowing what I can only imagine y'all know while keeping a straight face. And, you know, for me, you like, you know, the closer and closer we get to the summertime, man, and the further and further along in the calendar we get to the next Madden, I noticed y'all the last couple of years, you know, as you know, 16 and 17 have come out, And be like, yeah, we're gonna be able to talk about some things soon. And it's just like there's a different level of calm that enters the conversation. Now, this is obviously before the tuning, and we ain't even gonna go down that road. But at the very beginning, I challenge anybody to listen to, the episodes that came out around the time that 16 and 17 came out, whether it was after E3 or right after launch, and listen to how aloof you guys were. You know what I mean? In a good way. Like you were just very relaxed as you were talking about, yeah, we could change this, we could change that. But all in all, it looks like it's heading in the right direction. And then come the game actually coming out, it's like, yo, I'm, blah, blah, blah. So if y'all don't have as many opportunities to get that information in the first place in their suits, we're talking about the suits pulling back on sack fumbles being too prevalent in the game. If we're talking about, you guys have too many leaks of information that's protected. If they're that quick to tell you to not make the game so hard, do you think that the game changer program won't be a day one cut? Well, that game changer program won't be cut before the playbook is even installed for the next season? Yeah. If people want to act stupid. So, I hope, man, that people aren't this selfish, man. These people, like you said, who, I don't know I still have never understood how money works on YouTube. So these people that have these little 18,000 view videos that they're using stolen footage from, or whatever the case may be, like, I don't understand how that translates into success. I just don't know.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not even really asking for y'all to explain it to me right now, because I'm sure I could Google it. But the whole point is, man, is I just really hope that these couple bad people I don't want to call them bad people, these couple people who make bad decisions, that they don't spoil it for everybody else, man, and that the community can rebuke that before they try to support that, and that you get 5,000 dislikes on any league, you know what I mean, and just discourage people from doing it before the lawyers even send them that letter in the mail. But that's all I know, man.
That's the key thing right there. Access. That's the thing. The more and more people do stuff like that, listen to what Smitty said. This was an event. And then you're going to turn around and say that in the video. Like you're going to literally say, yeah, I got a chance to go. So just imagine, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, because believe me, this ain't the first time. So it's not like they're going to immediately cut stuff like that. But what it could do is it could prevent people who are new, or, people that they think about approaching. Because what happens a lot of times, Smitty knows this, even when we go for Madden, a lot of times it's, some of the same game changers that, that circle in there. But usually every event, it's like 2 or 3 new people. Sometimes just straight up community guys. It could be any one of you guys, right? And it might be somebody from another segment of Madden, but just a new person, somebody who's not a known game changer or anything like that. Could cut that out. They could start feeling like, man, we ain't bringing nobody in that hasn't been here, period. Or like you said, what if it get to a point where they feel so threatened to where they like, kill all of that.
It's a liability, man.
That's what I'm saying. And it don't make sense, man, because you want people to have the access, even if you don't, because you want people to be able to relay information. Because imagine if we still had to wait on just the sites to give us reviews. Imagine if there was no E3, there's no,
go buy Game Pro.
Yeah, no guys like us that actually can get the information, and then when they reveal it, then we could do a show and tell you what our experience was early, before the review. We all just be like, oh man, we gotta wait. And it's like, just don't kill that access, man. I don't see the point.
But something, Sim, and I mean, back then though, it was like that, where we were able to, it was before we got in, where every time these guys would go down. Now this is like more just like the game changers, like before us, they would go down, come back, you would see them post on Twitter or whatever, or they would be on Operation Sports, or they cut a YouTube video when they're there and they're talking about the game at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like from the first event, just like, yo, hey man, this is what they're doing, and from what I played, man, this is looking good and all that. Now it's like it's scaled back where we don't talk about anything until it's that time, like until basically prime time when everybody's able to see everything, and then we're able to talk. And it's levels of scrutiny that are received and things like that. Like it's more of a cost benefit. Like if it's not as beneficial, then they're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not valued as much. Think about, okay, excuse me. It's just about being valued, right? Like what Sim just said. Back then, you didn't have any additional outlet really to get the news from. You had to wait until E3, and then when IGN and everybody else was out there, then that was, oh, now let's talk about it. But we've essentially been spoiled to the point now where it's like, oh, man, I could just go on Twitter and find out. I ain't got to wait for IGN to give me this. And when you get that so much, now it's like, oh, this is some bull crap. Like, see, now, so it's not appreciated as much. So it's like, well, we could hold back and we could wait. When the time comes, then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it. So that's why I'm like, that's why we just, we speak from our comfort levels and things like that. Like you said, Des, we have our comfort levels and stuff where we're like, yo, man, hey, man, look, we gonna talk soon enough and everything. Like we do that because of how we feel. And I mean, Sim knows it was a fight for us to play, just to have the beta.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
That was a 3-year project right there, bro.
Yeah.
Because of fear, because of trying to figure out who gonna mess. That was really the problem. That was literally the reason, man. Can we trust it? Can we trust it? The dev, if it was up to the devs, I'll give y'all another quick tip. Then I throw it back to Smitty. If it was up to them, we would have access to what the game is right now. Like always being able to log into it and see what we like. Or okay, we're gonna send you a new version. Or what about this? But legal ain't going for that. You know what I mean? Because they just don't know. And when stuff like this happens, they looking at it like, see, as soon as we ready to give them some access, here they go.
That's why. So that's why when
you can't have nice things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you do stuff like that, that's how things get scaled back. And now it's like back to square one again. And then when you see people say, oh, how come we can't do this? And how come, but these people did. I was like, well, in those communities, it's a lot more control over it. And the people that do get involved, they don't lose control. You know what I mean? The person, they don't, for some odd reason, get in their mind, I need to go ahead and show this publicly for whatever dumb reason. It's not going to do anything. I'm going to put this blurry screenshot up after I sign a legal document that has my home address and phone number on it, and I'm going to post it on YouTube and make a video of it. That's dumb. Don't do no dumb stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. Just wait and let the stuff come out and then talk about it. Oh, man, I was down there, man. Let me tell you. Boy, man, when I played and like, then it's open season. Have fun. But in the meantime, just wait, man. It's worth the wait. Give your feedback. They're giving you a privileged opportunity to give you that insight and give you that feedback. That's why you see Rex and you see these guys allowing a lot more, there's a diverse bunch of people that go to the studio and everything like that, like bringing people in, like what Sim has said, bringing these people in, because that's one thing Rex has said to us multiple times. He's like, man, I wish I could get people from the community and just show them what it is we do so they can get a better understanding. Yep. And that's what's happening. So, but
y'all know what's funny, Smitty? It's stuff that we have been told. I can't say that, but y'all can say that. You really know what I'm talking about. It's been times where people in that building was like, yo, you say that. I can't say that. But please say that in your videos. Please say this stuff.
Yep.
That's why we keep saying, man, listen, we gonna tell you the real. We're gonna give you our opinion, and we might even slide in some stuff that won't necessarily would probably not be said by anybody else, but we have the leeway to do it. Like you wait, just wait. I can't wait, Smitty and Dez, for EA Play, because there's so much that we want to talk about.
I got shackles and chains and padlocks. Just
y'all don't
shaking right now, man. Just shaking the bus open, boy. So like,
you gotta show that it's gonna be when you bring in like 10 bags of groceries at once and you just feel your arms lift up as soon as you drop them all down. That's gonna be that show, man. After EA Play, y'all, I already tell, man, y'all gonna be y'all been in here beaming a little bit, man.
It's gonna be interesting. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
We're gonna give you all of the feelings, good, bad, disappointment, whatever, because it's so much that we already know. And like Dad said, it's hard to sit on here every week and act like I have no idea, to talk about things that I want, to talk about things that, all of this stuff that I already know. You know what I mean? Like, and there's no crime in saying that. Y'all know this. There's stuff that Smitty and I already know about Madden as far as the future. And there's things that we just got to sit here all the time and be a part of the conversation. It's crazy. I told y'all last week and the week before that, me and Smitty know about NBA Live. We already know. I'll give you all that much, and I'll let y'all use your imagination as to what that means. We already know.
Well, we appreciate y'all appeasing us.
We already know.
Just wait till we talk. Wait till we can actually talk.
Oh yeah, and I don't think we breaking anything, Smitty, by saying that, because the game has been announced.
Yeah, right.
When we knew and when we had privilege to certain things, it was no nothing. There was no nothing. But now that y'all know it's gonna be there, Smitty, we know about that. We know about that. Yep. And I just can't wait, because it's gonna be interesting. It's going to be interesting for a couple of these games, or how the reception is for these games. So I can't wait to be able to just really talk about stuff. And y'all know, and I see my man, shout outs to Uber YouTuber, man, who's in here. He knows it's stuff that you always privy to more information. And I'm not trying to toot my horn or Smitty's or Uber's or Azure, any of us who are privileged to be in the program. It is becoming, it's people that they do trust. I'll say it like that. Rex knows I ain't gonna go too far. Rex knows I'm gonna go as far as he goes. And then y'all get what I'm saying. Rex actually goes further than me, because he will actually tell you what they're doing next year. Sometimes if you just listen to him, he will tell you, well, we're gonna do it. I mean, and then trust me when I say this. There's times that marketing don't really like certain things what Rex say, but Rex is Rex.
Man, Rex is savage.
Yeah, he's from that cloth, man.
Rex
and he's excited about his product. He gonna say, and there's certain things, obviously, the people above are like, no, don't say that just yet. But we gonna tell you, and we're smart enough to say what we can say, give you a little deeper information than other people will, without getting in trouble. But best believe, when all of this stuff is on the table, we're going to give you the real thoughts and everything. So we'll see. So one other thing, I know we get ready to close the show here, and this was a great one. One other thing I want to say, and Smitty, you're probably going to experience this year, because you wasn't there last year, but I promise you this is going to happen. If you happen to see us at EA Play, couple things I need you to do. Don't just say, hey, what's up, Sim, and all this, and don't tell me who you are. Come on now. I had so many people do that to me last year. Hey, Sam, I follow you all the time, blah, blah, blah. And then they tweet me 2 weeks later saying that I didn't really acknowledge who they were. How am I? If you don't tell, I'm going to say, what's up, man? I'll give everybody a pound and a hug, because that's how we do it. But if you don't tell me, oh, I'm so-and-so, how am I supposed to react? That'd be like, I mean, obviously I would recognize Dez, but let's just use Dez as an example. If I had never seen Dez before, and Dez daps me up, and EA play, whatever, and hey, what's up, man? Da-da-da-da. Then I find out it was Dez. I'm gonna react different if right then he'd be like, yo, what's good? It's Dez. I'm gonna be like, oh, what's up, Dez? But if he don't say he's Dez, I'm just gonna be like, oh, what's up, man? You know, yeah, appreciate it, da-da-da-da, and keep it moving.
Right.
And you know who you are, because a couple of y'all did that. Come on with that. don't act like I ain't give you no kind of reaction. You didn't say who you were.
SimFBall.
Yeah, like, bro, come on with that. That's crazy, man. And y'all know I ain't that type of guy. I embrace everybody.
SimFBall, man, you ain't said nothing, man.
Come on, man. I embrace everybody and speak. Don't just stare. Listen. That's one of my pet peeves. Do not stare. Don't just be like, say something. Just say, hey, how you doing, or something.
Hey, yo, we're gonna periscope. So in that way they get caught right there on film. Like, nah, you can't bypass it. They're like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Come on, just because like I said, I met dude from give him a shout out, Madden Bomber League. I met DK. My man, I mean, I ain't trying to tell you how you supposed to do it, but he was like, yo, what up, Sam? What's good, man? It's DK, da-da-da from Madden Bomber. That's how you do it. When we met Hip Hop Gamer, when we went to E3 that year, yo, what up, yo, what's up, man? Yo, it's SimFBallCritic, da-da-da, this is Smitty. Introduce yourself, man. Because people, you get a little more excited when you realize, like, oh, that's so-and-so. But I'm not going to give you all of that if you just say, hey, how you doing? I'm going to be like, what up? That's it. But great show, man. Dez, man.
How dare you look me in the eye, sir? Who are you? Who are you? Dude. Who is this peasant?
You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't.
Did this commoner just touch me? Do you dare approach me?
Oh man, it's crazy, yo. It's a crazy feeling. I'll tell y'all that. And I mean, y'all know me. I'm no huge channel, and I ain't no QJB or nobody like that. So it was weird to me to be walking in LA out of my environment, and there's people like, "Hey, SimFBallCritic." I was like, "Who they talking to?" Oh, me. Like, it was weird. It was weird, dude. And Smitty, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Because I can promise you, it's people who, even if they don't watch our videos, it's people who run across this show that might be at EA Play, and they gonna recognize you. And it's gonna be a weird feeling. You're gonna be like, how does he know? Oh, that's right, YouTube. But
yeah, no, crazy. if it is, hey, like I said, that'd be cool. But see, you know what though? I'm kind of comfortable with it though, only because like when we had first went down to EA and I had met you, and then when I had met AZ, it was like, but see, it's different because we was already communicating and stuff, so it was just more like, oh, hey, what's up, man?
Oh yeah, when we seen each other in the airport, I was like, Smitty.
Yeah. You're like, Smitty. Yeah. It was like, oh, hey, what up, bro? Like, we saw each other, so it was like we've communicated. We just didn't have the facial matchup yet, so that was really it. But it'll kind of be like that with people that do come out, and I'll be able to see them and be like, yo, what's up? Like, I know Prime in the chat, what up? Prime saying I think he said he's gonna be there, or I think Swaggy gonna be there, or whatever. They're gonna be there. It'll be the same kind of deal. These cats, I seen them online many times over. I may mess around and run on the sticks with them in some live possibly or something like that. Like, okay, what up? Like, it's be what up though. Like, but yeah, man, no, hey, like everybody that does come up to us and meet us or whatever, hey, it's all good. It's all good, man. Shoot, it'll be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited for it.
I'm down.
I'm excited, bro. So
you too, man. Just that'll be a good time, man. I mean, listen, this is something that you never dreamed that you would do. Like when you was 22 years old, you ain't never think one day you gonna have like connections with people all over. Just off of the strength of having the same following. in a game. So to me, I'm always open to meeting people who spend the time to allow me to entertain them, so to speak. You know, you guys actually follow what I do. Like, of course, I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up? Because that's just me. I'm a genuine dude like that. So I would love for as many of you guys that are gonna be there, see me and Smitty, we all kick it, hang out. Like that's what it is. It's more real when it's like that. You know, like I said, man, going like kind of off topic, like I said, you know, it used to be a time when I was in the hip hop world and I met a lot of celebrities. And it was people that was cool. There's some people that, you know, but like dudes like Common, one of the coolest dudes I have ever been around. Like how y'all see him, that's him. I could, you know, I could definitely vouch for that. That is Common. It's coolest dude in the world, humble, you know, like stuff like that. Like Jeezy is another one. I met Jeezy when I was in Atlanta. Cool cat. You know, but I've met some other people who was a little, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, like, all right, now I see. Tell y'all another dude who was cool, and this ain't even hip hop, called Thomas. If y'all remember who he is, I met him in Atlanta.
Yeah,
at a restaurant. Right. Carl Thomas is cool as I don't know what, dude. I mean,
yo, Carl Thomas can't not be cool, yo. He's not allowed to not be cool, man.
Super cool, dude. Super cool. Like, I was like, Carl Thomas. He's like, yeah, how you doing? I said, oh, no, I'm asking. Like, I think this is. I said, yo, what's up, man? I mean, just cool and just kick it, walk conversation. It was nothing. It was like in Atlanta, man. You see anybody, and it ain't like New York is a little different. It's so like more security written in there, unless it's, you know, unless certain dudes don't need that. But Atlanta is so chill. You might see anybody out there just chilling, just standing on the corner. But yeah, man. But yeah. Y'all see us there, say what's up. We can kick it. We can even go get a bite to eat, whatever y'all want to do. Like, we're going to be out there. But I think this was a great show, man. Again, we want to extend the invitation for somebody else. Come on. You know, do like Dez, do like DJ. Come be a part of it. This is a community effort, especially as we get closer to these games. Like, I know we got Prime. We got other guys in here, Uber. I mean, any of you guys that have things that you want to talk about, your wheelhouse, you know, NBA Live Mobile, Live, or any of these games, we'll be happy to have any of you guys on the show for a whole show or a little segment, whatever y'all want to do. But Dez, man, anything you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Yo, y'all gotta get Zulu on here, man. That's what we gotta get up on here, man.
Yeah.
Zulu did he did a two-parter with 205 and 757. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I saw that back.
Those dudes were going
good stuff when he's been on the show. Yeah, we definitely got to get.
If anybody hasn't heard that, man, the 205, I can't remember.
It's on his channel.
Stack 360 channel, I think. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That's a great conversation that they had, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man, and. You know, I'm be definitely checking in with y'all, and I see 60 in here, man. We gotta hit this battlefield. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, I know, man. My man Ray ready to hop in there too. You already know.
Yo, do y'all have the new maps?
Y'all don't have the new maps. I bought MLB instead, man.
No, I don't either. No, I don't either. I didn't get premium. So I was just wondering because I don't know if I'm gonna rush to do it or not. But like if y'all don't have it, which is who I would play with when I actually play with people, ain't no point of me just, you know, I might still get it, but I was just wondering.
Nah, man, if you get it, then, you know, I have to drop out the party. You ain't going to be getting your money's worth playing with me, man, because I ain't about to get it. But, you know, and I did want to ask say one thing, man, because when we were talking earlier, as we say something about Battlefield, when we talk about like the server stability and stuff like that, we complain ad nauseum with Battlefield because I mean, how long does it take? You know, but at the end of the day, like when Battlefield is working, you know, and it's, you know, it's not lagging, you know, even with Battlefront, you know, I don't remember if Battlefront had a lot of server issues.
No.
I can't remember too many issues with that.
No,
but just what they were giving us. Yeah, Battlefront was all right. But Battlefield, man, like, that's another one of those games, man, that I feel like, because what they give is so over the top, ridiculously good that you'd be like, man, I do gotta wait 7 minutes in between each game, I feel like, or like if we gotta back out and add somebody to the party, like we might as well have just played another conquest by the time we enter a new one. So
yeah.
I did forget to say that earlier, man. That's all though, man. Man, I appreciate y'all letting me on.
Yeah, no question, man. Smitty, what you got, brother?
No, that's all I got, dude. I mean, I'll definitely say thank you, everybody that hung out. You know what I'm saying? I see, Uber in here saying he would like to get on the show and everything. Let's get him in here. We could coordinate something possibly for next week's episode, man. And
yeah,
definitely we'll break bread. But and Neff, you a fool and a half. I see you in the chat. That ain't gonna happen. So
no, Smitty don't get saucy, man.
Yeah. Hey, Uber said drinks on him. I'll be drinking water. So that's all it'll be. Just give me a nice tall glass of water and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some apple juice or something. That'll be about it. But
dangerously.
Yeah, right. I know, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're gonna call you Barrington Levy from now on.
Listen, man, Smitty, where I give Smitty all the props in the world, because most people succumb to peer pressure. Smitty will be at an event with all of us, everybody at the bar, and Smitty will straight up order apple juice like it ain't nothing. And I'm like, that's what's up. Because I've seen many of people,
swag.
And I've been a part of doing this to people where I'm like, man, just come and get you a drink. I've seen many people get told, damn. Because
man, we ain't gonna name names. Man.
Because peer pressure. And I'm like, man, you ain't gotta drink it. I ain't gonna look at you a different way because you don't drink. That's what's up. So
man, I can't even say peer pressure, but we know, but we know.
Hey, yo, before you break, this is the last chance. Unless you make a separate video, who y'all predicting for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals? Y'all prepared to make a playoff prediction right now, or does that need to start next week's show? It ain't gonna be fair next week though.
I could say no.
Ain't gonna be fair next week.
Honestly, I would say I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Spurs in the West, and I'm gonna say that's hard to say, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. I'm gonna say Celtics.
Oh, Smitty, man, Smitty took mine, man.
I'm gonna say Celtics out the East.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out there. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna call the Spurs. I know that's crazy because the Warriors will probably, if
KD coming back,
yeah, they'll probably get it. But hey, let's go against the grain. Let's make it interesting.
Right. Yeah.
In the East, I'm gonna tell you, it's an easier decision for me, man. I don't think the Cavs don't look like the team this year. I understand the whole LeBron knows what it takes. He's been there. Yeah, he's been there 6 times or whatever straight. They just don't look like the team. And it's weird because even a Darren, some people say Deron, some say Darren. I'm just going to call him Darren Williams. The dude the other night, it was like last week, he scored like 35 points. I mean, he has that caliber to be a backup dude who was a starter. That should be buckets. Kyle Korver should be killing it. J.R. Smith should be doing his thing when he gets hot because we know he's streaky. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that dude, Derek Williams, was playing nice early in the year down in the post. And all
Shannon Fry.
Come on, man. But we've been watching them the last 2 weeks, and they just don't look. They look like the perfect team that will run up against a hungry young team that's ready to play and mess around and get stolen. And I think the Celtics might catch them, man.
But you know what they look like to me? They look like the Pistons. They look like how my Pistons did in 06 when they got beat by the Heat. Because they basically, I wouldn't say 06 because they played high level ball all year, but I would say like 07 or 08 or whatever. They would play enough to look good and say, okay, yeah, you know that the Pistons are at least getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, or they may come out the East, but they cruise control. And that's essentially what these dudes are in right now. But then when the playoffs start, now all of a sudden they're going to turn it up. And they're just going to flip a switch, and now everybody's going to be balling. That's what the expectation is. But the difference here is you got the Wizards playing hard. You got the Celtics playing hard. You got the Raptors playing hard. Like, these are not – even the Pacers playing hard. Like, you got these teams – Bulls I ain't worried about. But these other teams – stay home, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These other teams, though, I mean, you saw how Paul George pushed LeBron. There's a difference between regular season and playoff ball. LeBron's got to go dang near all 40 minutes or 40 plus for them to be in the game. Now, unless these dudes just come in, the bench players just come in and they're playing playoff like NBA Finals ready and just balling out of control. Richard Jefferson turned back the clock. Darren Williams plays all-star form ball. Kyle Korver's doing his thing. Like, if you don't have that, then you in some trouble. Yeah. Like, seriously, because LeBron, Korver, LeBron, Kyrie, and Love, that's only going to get you so far, especially when LeBron's not on the floor. Because as we've seen, LeBron has to be on the floor for this team to succeed, primarily. And when you got a guy like Isaiah Thomas that loves to be out there in the fourth quarter and drill teams, and he's in the playoffs now, I don't know about that. There's a number 1 seed on top of that. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, it is LeBron.
Yeah. I ain't taking away from LB. So.
What you think?
The Cavaliers played no defense, man, and they haven't played defense since LeBron came back to Cleveland, man. But somehow they're still. I mean, the thing it's funny, man, with Cleveland, because everybody was like, "Oh, LeBron didn't have any help." If LeBron makes free throws in the first time he played against the Warriors when they lost, if he just makes free throws, none of those games come down to the last possession. But he had to shoot the ball 4 times. He had to assist 14 times. He had to get 12 rebounds, whatever those stat lines he was putting up in the first 4 games of that first series they played in the finals. It wasn't because they just played no defense. And how many second and third and fourth chance points do the Cavaliers surrender? I mean, I don't watch the NBA on a nightly basis. I watch those little highlight tapes that they come out with on YouTube, those little those little 5-minute cut-ups or whatever during the regular season. But the playoffs, because I feel like the season don't start until this weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the Cavaliers, man, like, somehow LeBron will just make a signature play. I mean, what he did last year was ridiculous, but people always compare him to Kobe and to Jordan and whatnot. Listen, LeBron is on an unprecedented run of being in the spotlight, man, without having any major scandals, without having any injuries, without having anything negative happen to him, man. The law of averages is going to play out at some point with LeBron. And I don't think it would be bad for LeBron to get bounced out the playoffs this year. Every year that they make the finals is going to be one more year that's harder. And we look at these dudes as larger than life and superheroes, but he's a human being, man. No athlete that I can ever remember has ever been under the spotlight for as much of their lives as LeBron has been.
Mm-hmm.
So for this upcoming playoff, when you've been seeing LeBron snapping at people in the media and crying on the sidelines, and you're seeing the team imploding and stuff like that in these last couple of weeks, blowing the 26-point lead and blowing the 16-point lead or whatever it was the other night. Like,
oh man,
can you say that won't happen in the playoffs?
In the fourth quarter.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying, bro? And the thing is about the NBA though is, like, if nothing else, you don't really get too many fluke champions in the NBA, man. Like, you don't, like, the best team usually wins the title in the NBA. Like, you can't fake who you are over 7 games in 10 days or however, you know what I'm saying? Like that is what it is. So, you know, all these teams in the East that have been coming up these last couple of years, your Torontos, your Wizards, and that, you know, they still got to do it. You know what I mean? As soon as LeBron touched down, I mean, when he went to Miami and when he went to Cleveland, he's been in the finals. You know what I mean? Basically every year. So it's like until somebody tells me that it's not about to be LeBron in the finals, I don't know how to pick against the man. The West, you figure it is going to be Golden State, but
yeah, that's going to be
who knows,
man.
One. Who knows, man? All of it's going to be good, man. But yeah, man, all y'all, man. I was just curious.
Yeah, that's good, man. We'll see. And you know, last thing I'll say, this game got nothing to do with gaming. If you a hip hop fan, go ahead and buy that Kendrick Lamar. Comes out tomorrow, 12 midnight. Support him, man. That's one thing we got to start doing with our music and games. Well, games you can't really, you can, but it ain't much bootlegging going on. But support him, man. Support your artists. I ain't just talking about him. People who you really like, go ahead and support him. You know, I know you got Spotify and all that, but support people, man, because, you know, that's their livelihood. And I know people will say, oh, they got millions. But, hey, you know, it takes one for one, another one for another one for another one for them to get that. So check that album out. I can almost promise you it's going to be fire.
It's going to be a classic.
But, yeah, that's all we got. We'll catch y'all next week. Be safe. Look at the playoffs. And we'll come back next week and we'll talk about what has transpired in the playoffs since then. Other than that, man, this is a very dead time. All we're doing is waiting. Like we're waiting to get to June, and then once June hits, then we got 2 more months for the Madden to hit, and then FIFA will hit, and then NHL and all of that. So that's it, guys. We'll catch y'all next week. We appreciate everybody who participated. We definitely appreciate Dez for coming on. And we appreciate all the continued support. So we'll be back at you guys next week. Everyone have a good weekend. Happy Easter. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, it's taking me a while to find the stop button. So peace again.